Where do I start? We didn't get the 108k sweep, which would have been an ideal short opportunity, and instead we just rolled over after retesting 106. I'm forming a pretty nice bearish setup from Friday into the weekend on BTC. And now we're accepting below 102k. Now, for today's close, depending on what stocks do, of course, because we're bouncing as stocks are about to go open in 1.5 hours, we want to see 102 reclaimed. Because if we don't, we might see another sweep of these lows at least, which could take us to 94, 96 before another bounce, ideally. If 94, 96 doesn't give us a bounce, I'll be looking at 92, but the way things are shaping up, I don't think 92 holds if we go there, and we'll probably just take out this wick, as well as just go a bit lower into 85, 86k for a proper bounce. That's at least what I'm looking at, because that's also where our weekly trend is on EMA 21. So that's pretty much my thought process as it stands. I don't think it's the time to be knife catching. If you de-risk spot in the past week or so, you could slowly scale into it, into bags again. But I think it's quite important to let the next week or so develop, because Nvidia is down 12%, Nasdaq is down a shit ton. So we'll have to see how stocks open before we take any important decisions, right? That's pretty much it for BTC, really. On the one hand, it's good we didn't first go to 110k, because that would have made this bear setup even stronger, I feel like, where I would be able to confidently say, okay, now we're going to 85k, but as it stands, I'm looking at 94, 96k to get very, very long on stuff. And I'll just be waiting what the next 2-3 days have to say. I think it's safe to say that if the market, and by market I mean stocks, continues to sell off as aggressively as it has the past 12 hours, say, the Fed will sound rather dovish next meeting, I think, which is a good thing. And maybe they'll start hinting towards cutting rates again, or printing money and lowering interest rates and all that stuff. So we'll have to see what they have to say on Wednesday. That's pretty much it regarding market, to be honest, regarding stocks and BTC. DXY down. Yeah, DXY is nuking. I was looking at it. DXY looks ready to roll over, which is good for us. Didn't quite get the 110 sweep, but that's alright. Ideally, this just keeps nuking, because that's pretty much the only bright thing we have in this market right now, for lack of a better word. Because if DXY starts accepting below this level on a significant time frame, then it's looking pretty good for risk on for now. And we could just go all the way down again. Do something similar that we did in 2021, where it actually, well, the move in 2021 happened in 2020 and just kept going down and down and down until March, April, right? And then in May we started bouncing. But ideally, DXY just goes back to these range lows from here. We also had some thought regarding Trump raising tariffs on Colombia and all that stuff, but I think that will also blow over pretty soon. Just some added pressure onto the market right now, to be honest. In terms of alts, pretty much everything looks like shit, in my opinion. AI agents got absolutely murdered. Some are giving nice bounces. I think Griffin is bouncing 20% already. It's good as long as it holds here. If it doesn't hold here, it's just gonna take out the list lows. And Sol also looks alright here, given we hold this 222 level. But this 222 level just feels like too much of an obvious level for me to give a bounce. So what I'm waiting for here to add leverage exposure is potentially today just some chop inside this 222 to 236 area, and then maybe one final push into like 215 to 17 before a big bounce, and then ideally new highs. I find it very hard to believe that that was our cycle top, especially for alts. Um, so that's a good thing. But if it was the top, I think a lot of people are gonna lose a lot of money, which is not good, right? Yeah, Sol looks okay, right? It came into very logical support. Now it's bouncing a bit. It's bouncing pretty nicely with BTC recovering as well. So ideally, we maybe get like one final week. Last week of January and first week of February is usually super volatile. Like if you look previously on BTC as well. We're here. Last week of January, first week of February, sort of, well, was a mix here, right? Not the best 2 weeks, right? Similar story in 2020. Here. Last week of January, and then higher, right? Like BTC should have one more move in it, in my opinion, before we actually talk about like one big move into February, March, and then some extended top period like we have had here, and some reaccumulation before maybe a second leg into the end of Q2, start of Q3, something like that. Sol Link Aave. Yeah, Aave also doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's basically just at the prices where it was last week. I feel like for Aave, I would like this wake low to be taken, but maybe I might not get that. The only thing it swept though is this January low right before Liberty Financial started buying, so maybe a bit more chop around this area before it recovers. But in general, the Aave chart looks very good, right? Could Sol go below 180 in low time frame? I mean, it could wake there, but if it starts closing below 180, I will probably sell all my holdings and come back in a year. Like, Sol going below 180 on any big time frame for a sustained period of time, like you basically set back inside the 2024 range and you lose all your momentum and all your trend following. I mean, it might happen at some point, but I don't think it will happen before we cycle top or get like a 5 to 6 month top. So it's unlikely. For now, yeah. I could see his wick to like 190 if things get really aggressive and we get that 85k on BTC. But that's basically the place where you start max bidding. If you get 190 from here, you bid you bid it and you walk away, because if your stop doesn't hold there, then you're probably better off just not trading this market or just shorting, right? You full board max leverage at 85k. I mean, I would take on a substantial amount of risk at 85k, yeah. But I wouldn't full board max leverage. I would still keep my risk management intact or in check. Like, depends what you mean by full port max leverage, right? I never go over 3x by, for example. I'll rebalance my student loans. Probably don't want to do that. So yeah, good bounce though so far. Feel like sometimes it would be better just to be asleep for moves like these so you don't sell the bottom. Wake up in a week, two, once the market has found its footing again. I think for BTC it's very important now that we reclaim this 102k level on the daily. If we manage to close the daily green, I'll be very impressed. But generally speaking, it's always a good thing that we sell off early into the week, especially during FOMC. And then we go up afterwards. We also have Chinese New Year, right? Thoughts on Sui? I think Sui is gonna repeat the whatever Tia did. Like this top looks so identical that I probably won't be interested in it unless it reclaims 440. Or unless it like dips to $3 or lower and then finds a base here. Because if it doesn't bottom here, it's basically the Tia fractal. I'm gonna show you. Almost identical. And then it's just gonna slow bleed. See the stop? Quite similar, right? I guess the main advantage of DeepSeek is down, that's why we're bouncing. I muted to work this morning. I woke up and saw 500 tweets mentioning DeepSeek. So I was like, what are you guys talking about? Everyone's an expert overnight. But yeah, Sui, I don't know. I'm not a fan of longing it here. Nor shorting it really. I mean, 440 could be a good short for all I know, depending on where the market is. Like this is a nice H4 though. If it manages to hold, because it basically swept these lows that it made in December. It's a nice swing, or it just about didn't. Left that wick. Would have loved to sweep that wick. We've also left the wick. Didn't take it. Would have loved if it would have taken this 107 wick. Could still be coming in the next week. Let's see. What's Ling doing now? Link weekly still looks okay. Holding this box. As long as it holds this, it looks good. If it doesn't, then it's starting to look very ugly. I'm gonna be completely honest. Tried out DeepSeek, it's quite powerful. The worst part is 50x faster. I mean, I think it's just stocks overreacting, firstly, because they realize their shit is overvalued, which is always what causes these moves, right? And then also just not knowing what else is out there. They bought the fastest NVIDIA chips illegally. Yeah, I read something about that they bought some chips via some shady way of buying them. I don't know any specifics on it. And that's how they managed to build that. So it also doesn't make sense to me that Nvidia's literally down, what, 12% pre-market? It's absolutely fucking insane to me. The key area to watch for BTC here is 102k. Could bearish retest here and then go lower for that 94, 96k sweep. Or it could just straight up reclaim it, which would be very bullish. That would just mean that we shrugged off all the FUD instantly, right? And take into account that if FOMC comes in bullish for whichever reason, that will only accelerate whatever is happening here. And for Sol, if you were looking at a bearish retest, probably 240-ish, 38. This area, these highs. Although the short side already kind of played out yesterday, right? Or well, overnight. What's ETH looking at like? Didn't sweep the lows. I mean, if ETH now does something like this, where it holds this meme line and it bounces and then it tests again here, and it doesn't break down again, that would be quite bullish for ETH. Dare I say that? What would be a good target by the end of the bull run if we start with around 40 to 50k? I think the best advice I can give you is to not have any target. Because you will attach yourself to it and think the market owes you to go there, while it doesn't. On the contrary, in fact. I mean, realistically speaking, if the bull run isn't finished 4 or 5x without taking too much risk, and by without taking too much risk, I just mean 80% Sol, or 50%, 60% BTC, 30% Sol, and then 10% you used to gamble with on chain or whatever. Like, I wouldn't have any target. It'll only prevent you from selling. Bull run is over? No, I don't think the bull run is over. I think the next 10 days will be a bit bumpy, yeah, for sure. A lot will depend on how stocks open today, and I mean in the next few days as well. BTC also ramping up hard. Worst case, it goes to 63. Which I don't think anyone wants to see, but just something I'm considering because it does look very bullish still. Or it rejects here. BTCD goes there and the market isn't topped, that's when you rotate from BTC into alts. Like total 2 topping like this would be quite shocking. I'm wanting to hold BTC long term, 10, 15 years. Normal to just try and sell as close as possible to the top and then get back in the bear market. It depends how confident you are that you can sell the top. Because I know a lot of people will sell the top and then they think it's not the top and then they rebuy. And then the price does in fact nuke and then they sell again and then it bounces again, you know, and you start bringing in some element where you might fuck up because you're flip-flopping. Now, on the other hand, if it's such an obvious top that it is the top, then yeah, why not sell if you can get a 50% discount 6 to 12 months later? It very much depends on how much money you can just leave locked for 10 years like that. You ever got liquidated? Yeah, I got liquidated in January 2021 on exactly the same move we're seeing here. So that's why I'm not too surprised why it's happening. I can show you even where I got liquidated. Here. I don't know the exact date, but I was longing XLM. I was longing XLM and something else. And it was looking really good and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know shit about risk management. So I slid up the leverage 5x or something. And then all of a sudden I woke up overnight and I saw a 0 in my account. Was it cross? It was cross, yeah. I mean, it was like a mix of cross and isolated. I don't know exactly. I didn't know anything back then. No SL. No, I mean, I had an SL, but my liquidation price was came before the SL. It was a call from Tar, by the way. He used to be a trader inside this group. Also pretty similar top that we're seeing here, to be honest. If you take away all the noise people are shouting right now. Like we're having our initial move, we're having a bounce. Could chop below for a week or two and then reclaim. This being our 102k level. 34k. So that would be something I can get behind because I'm sure I wasn't on CT back then, but I'm sure people were also shouting back then that the bull market is over and whatnot. Because this isn't like a good looking structure or anything, right? Doesn't look great. How did you go from normal member to now academy? I was just very active inside the community here. And we had a huge Sol season in 2021 as well, and I was basically the only guy screaming about buying Sol from $8 all the way till 250. So I did some stuff on chain there, and I posted all my stuff in here. And they noticed that, and then I became a mod first. And then last year I became a trader. That's pretty much it. But I feel like it's a completely different landscape now because I remember back in 21 we had like on-chain season on Phantom, on-chain season on Sol, on Harmony. Where else? We had AVAX even. Fucking hell. And there was always something to do there, but this cycle, it's like all the on-chain action is happening on Sol. Like 95% of it. We have some stuff on ETH as well, but like not that much. And ETH not performing well doesn't help either, right? Alongside with millions of tokens being launched every day, so that makes it a lot harder to find actual runners on chain without getting dumped on after 5 days of holding. Yeah, the cycle is definitely harder so far, at least. I mean, it's been super rotational. Others will show you that. Like, look at this chart. You would think there happened a bull run in between this, but you just had to rotate from like, what was it? From bonk to whiff to Sol. Well, Sol goes in line with that. From bonk to whiff. What else did we have? Hype, Celestia. Whereas usually you would have been able to just hold said coins, suffer maybe a 50% drawdown, and then stuff would go up again because there wasn't so many coins. And also there's just a lot more shit nowadays. Space has become very extractive. What did others do in 21? Yeah, that was in June, July. Yeah, here it was just up only. See? You could buy any coin here probably and win. Almost any coin. Like Sushi. It's super well. Like Sushi is quite a good example. I think I've seen it on CT. I've seen it on CT doing the rounds where like Sushi did super well from November until our April top. Well, let's say May top. And then after that, it basically faded into obscurity, whereas Sol went to 25 around here in July, and then it ran to 200, 250, right? So that's another example of like properly rotating, even back then. And look at it now. Disgusting. It'll never be like the good old days. I think it will just be different. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely using NVIDIA chips, right? Which is why I like, maybe I'm mid-curving this, but why is NVIDIA down so much? I would imagine WLD going to 0 though, but it didn't flinch so much. Surprising. Then we're mid-curving together, Romeo. Also, another thing I was thinking about is like, if we wouldn't have had Trump, this likely wouldn't have accelerated as aggressively as it has. Which means we would probably still be at like 80, 85k, whatever, but we still would have moved up because all the uncertainty regarding the presidency would be gone. But it's all just sped up now, which also means we need to cool off just as aggressively, right? Any idea on a Jupiter entry? Um, have a look. A retest of 92 would be nice, to be honest. And also, if Sol performs well, I think it can be a very good beta now, especially given they mentioned like their buybacks. So this will only accelerate price, right? And it should do well. I don't want to long it here. Like maybe a reclaim of 112. But even that's risky for me here. Could be a fake out before it revisits 1995 or one final pullback. So yeah, 90 cents ish. Sweep these lows maybe around 90 cents. These ones. Hive as well, very strong today. Let me actually. Also, by the way, some advice for you guys. Make a journal. You can make like if you go on Notion, go to templates, type in journal, pick out a template for whatever you need, and if you're actively trading day to day, write on everything you're thinking, everything you're doing, what the market feels like to you. So you can reflect back on that when something similar occurs, or what seems similar to you at least. Because to me today it felt, or at least I felt a lot like in August when we had that like exaggerated TradFi dump from Japan, Bank of Japan cutting rates or raising rates, I don't remember. Yeah, cutting rates. And I feel like this is similar. Like give it a week or two to resolve and think things will be back to normal. Ina. Let me do hype first. Like hype looks very good here, to be honest, as long as it holds this $20 level. If things get really aggressive, like again, this 85k sell-off on BTC, this would be a nice bounce or nice area for a long. Because everyone will want to bid this $15 area and it'll get front run. And then we place a nice trap here just below $20 and we bounce. That's what I would be looking at for hype. Because I think hype will perform pretty well if the market's still bullish. I think hype could be the soul of this cycle. At least that's what it feels like to me. People are saying Sui, but there's not that much happening on Sui, and it doesn't have nearly the mindshare hype has. So wait for 18. Yeah, wait for 18 and then check for the reaction. And also don't buy it on leverage because like these Bybit wigs on hype have been pretty brutal. Yeah, back above 100k. Funny how that goes. Ina, 66 probably. I've had this level mapped out for a while. Glad I didn't take this long while everyone was screaming Ina as the future of finance. Yeah, 66. Some consolidation inside this area. Was also a pretty nice short, to be honest. Now, what you want to see for longs or how you can play long setups from here on out, because there's a few structures like these levels where we have freshly formed supplies. For Ina, that would be 85 to 6. Once we have an H4 close above these supplies, and the rest of the market looks to be in a good spot, that could be our long trigger with 10 wicks below, stops below whatever the daily wick is at that moment. That's usually a good reclaim setup to play. I feel like Sol probably has something similar. For Sol, that would be, if you want to be risk off until you have more clarity for Sol, that would be until we reclaim 257, 256, get an H4 close above that, and then you can long. Let me share the Ina chart as well for you, Packy. Are you family of Pocky, Packy? Sorry. I had to do it. What else do we have? Yeah, not longing any of this. Alk looked okay, right? Oh no, that's not that one. Rog. Rog is green on the day. Impressive. At Jupiter, the only real major looking good alongside Hype. Because like all these coins which are green now are just bottom of the barrel shitters. Apart from Frog maybe. What's this? FNT. On-chain AI bags dying. Falcon project. Yeah, on-chain is gonna need some time to recover after Trump extracted all that money. Should flow, like that money should flow to coins eventually, but we need some serious spark. The fuck is this? Looks like a honeypot. What are these wakes? We've just bought Falcon project in May 2024 and left. Would have had no drawdowns. What a weird chart. 100 mil market cap. $30 in trading volume. That's impressive being on Bybit. How is it still listed there? Jesus. Yeah, don't touch this, by the way. Mitchie listed on Mitchie spot because I know they were going to list perps, but yeah. To be honest, if the market stays like this, it's probably short at some point. Yeah, it already looks cooked as it is. If it would have rallied aggressively into it, that would have been a nice short. but it didn't even rally. Someone mentioned Tau, right? Being strong. Where's my Tau chart? Tau led AI the first time around, right? It led here when we started bouncing in September. Could be doing something similar here, signaling our bottom is close. Also trying to flip EMA 21 for the first time since November. I mean, I don't count these because that was a deviation, right? This could be a nice bottom setup with a wick like that. Like this looks good. If it reclaims 434 on the daily, it looks very good. Otherwise, maybe you get some more consolidation between 355 and the top of the range. What's the H4 saying? Yeah, don't look too bad. XVG. That's Verge, right? 2020 coin. 2017 coin. That was the first coin I made money on. And then round tripped it all. I just bought it. Went like 5x in 2017 or 2018, whatever. It was around cycle top. And then it immediately went down like 80, 90%. And then I never looked at crypto again till like late 2020. I mean, TA wise, if this weekly closes above EMA 21, it could form a nice bottom here because this is massive support. I mean, should be massive support because it's the way it's been traded around here. But 8.8 needs to get reclaimed. If it doesn't, it's probably going back to the lows. 50% from here. Well, by lows, I mean 44. To make your greatest percentage gains on-chain in terms of portfolio. To be honest, most of the stuff I made on-chain, the biggest gains happened on-chain, yeah, for sure. But also my biggest round trips happened on-chain. And the most amount of money which I managed to keep was by trading proper coins on centralized exchanges. And by proper coins, I mean like top 100 tokens. So you can do with that info rather, well, whatever you please. Like, it's so easy to round trip stuff on chain, it's insane, because like, stop losses aren't really a thing on chain, right? Like hard stop losses, you can't really place them that easily. Because they won't trigger, or It just slices through your SL. Like it's mentally for me, it's a completely different game on chain. Especially this year. I mean, it's been, there's been dispersion, but I didn't expect there to be that much dispersion. Wednesday is bearish. How do you think we will react? I mean, if Wednesday is bearish, market will react bearish, and then we likely go to 85K. Any advice how to do it on chain and not round trip? Um, always de-risk initials at on an X2 or X3, and don't add. I mean, don't add if it's like not logical from a portfolio percentage perspective. You can of course add to DCA positions, but I guess Peanut and Mudeng are a good example. Like this shit was 600 mil 2 months ago. Just insane to me. TRX doing. Justin Sun has cornered so much supply on this thing, man. He's never gonna let it go down, is he? Maybe should have just bought TRX. I think we can have a flash flush on open. Yeah, I think we can as well. But we rallied into a New York Open, or we're still rallying into it, sort of. So like if we get a flash into 94, 96K, I'll probably be interested in longing and praying. So yeah. Mazak got a banger short on this, didn't he? Nice. Very nice. Funny that ADA is holding up better than ETH this whole cycle. 80 cents could be a good long. You still believe in the cult? Everything else better than ETH. Yeah, that's true, HPJ. All about perspective, right? Oh my god. Everything is up only against ETH. LTC ETH as well, by the way. Oh no, ETC ETH. Yeah, even ETC ETH. I mean, at least since December. Aave, dude. It's actually pretty nuts that if you just bought Aave instead of ETH as a leveraged ETH bet, you would have outperformed massively. Like you would have. No, okay, you wouldn't have outperformed buying Sol. I remember people saying in 2023 that most stuff wouldn't reach their all-time high in their ETH pairing anymore. Well, it's been the exact opposite. Well, to be fair, it hasn't yet. Remember SFP, HBJ? What's Radium at? Wow. My alert was here. Triggered. That wasn't at my desk. Stupid. Another missed alert from me. I might have to send automated alerts to the Discord. Just so you guys can spam me. Cause I just keep missing my alerts at the bottom. Do you think memes will bounce, HBJ? Like Mudeng, Peanut, all this stuff. Like I'm genuinely wondering. Like apart from Bonk, Pepe, and Viv, of course. Like I can see those bounce, but like the other stuff we pumped to like 500 mil market cap. Yeah, makes sense. But even Tia didn't really perform, did it? I mean, it went to $9. That was your exit. That should have been my exit in hindsight. Any other chart requests, guys? We have 5 more minutes before Frigo is streaming, I think. What's Beam at? Man, some of the if these were the tops on a lot of these like major coins, a lot of people are gonna round DeepSeek is down. They're trying to pump the market by flooding DeepSeek now, yeah. Algo. When did I short Algo for the last time? These are your weekly levels. 27, 40. To be honest, interesting, it didn't make new lows. Why? I mean, this can break up. It doesn't look bad. If it reclaims 40 cents, it doesn't look bad. If it doesn't, then it's probably 32 before you have like 27. Redrive looks good. Yeah, but it's a tree drive to the downside and it's holding, which is bullish. Like it's looking okay. I mean, not the greatest looking chart, but it's a nice setup. I mean, of course, if this diagonal breaks down and let's say if you draw your diagonal like this instead from the wicks, you could say it already has. But 32 could be a nice bid. All right, gonna end it here, guys. Maybe I'll do another stream later. As always, don't get leveraged. Don't get liquidated on leverage. And good luck trading. Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.